a lot of times we think of evangelism in terms of, basically a cold call, sharing and asking for a decision. But the Great Commission says, make disciples. I mean, could you help us understand maybe a distinction between evangelism and discipleship, and maybe help us understand the necessity of discipleship?
Well, normally evangelism is seen pre-conversion and discipleship is seen post-conversion. There's a scale out there called the Engel Scale, Engel, that I like because it kind of ties the two together, so that a person may be a -10 as far as they're considering Christ as their Lord and Savior, and then a very mature Christian could be a +10. I like thinking of the two together. So I see evangelism and discipleship as a person's first awareness of us as a believer in Jesus Christ, and beginning there and seeing that if I move a person from a -8 to a -7, that's a good thing. If I'm moving them on the scale, so I see the difference, pre-conversion, post-conversion, but I also think we make a dichotomy sometimes that I want us all to realize when we make them aware that we are a follower of Christ, that journey has begun.
Wow. That's why we're doing this. I mean, that was absolutely incredible. And so I made this claim last night that I have a hard time thinking that we could be found faithful at the end of the age when we see the Lord, hear, well done, good faithful servant, without participating in the Great Commission.
Absolutely.
And I know it freaks people out because, I mean, I'm one it struggles even on the evangelism aspect of it. But would you say then participating in the Great Commission, making disciples, could be moving just someone along that scale?
Absolutely. And I like a good friend of mine put this together on, kind of discipleship dashboard or gauges. How am I making others aware of me in a positive way? We got to be thinking about that. If we're living on mission for Christ, just like your illustration, which I love, those guys trying to break in, and you take them and you feed them and you make them realize, hey, you're welcome, and we want to love you and we want to help you. You made them aware of the gospel and aware of you as a minister of the gospel in a positive way. So how am I doing that? How am I making them aware of myself? How am I making them aware of my church and the ministry that I belong to in a positive way? And then how am I going to connect with them? And I think a big part of connecting with them is learning their names, memorizing their names, and then praying for them by name. So I'm getting them I'm on their radar. They're now on my radar. So now how can I build a relationship with them? How can I let them know? I remember playing noontime basketball when I was planting a church outside Chicago, and a guy walked up to me and said, "Can I ask you something?" I said, "Sure." "I've never heard you cuss. How come?" And it was because I'd been playing with him all this time, and he noticed that, and I began talking with him about it. So I think the Great Commission is, I'm aware that I'm a light, I'm salt, I'm to be a representative of Jesus Christ, an ambassador for him in every situation, because we know the Great Commission is not so much how many doors do you knock, but it's, and I'm not knocking that, no pun intended.
Right.
I'm just saying
it pun.
Is as I go through my normal everyday life, the people that God has put in my path, how can I make them aware of the gospel, of me as a Christian, and how can I build a relationship? Because if I do those first three things, then when I do have a spiritual conversation with them, it's going to be far less awkward, because I've built capital. They know they can trust me. They've watched me and observed me.